Every high and crushing low taught me something invaluable: resilience. I began documenting my journey, recording every lesson and every step towards rebuilding my success and my mental, even if no one else was watching. I didn't know where this path would lead, but I had Frank, Rosario, and the memories of everything I built and lost fueling my determination. What you're about to see is my journey, the highs, the lows, and every moment in between, captured during a time when I was all alone but never defeated. I'm going to get back to being a millionaire. No matter what, I will make it.
Hey guys, here's a video. It is, sorry, I'm hella tired, bro. I just got out of the gym. It is July 13th, Thursday, 3:31 p.m. If it sounds like I'm hella tired, it's because I just came back from the gym, and honestly, I've been, like, dreading having to make another video, to be honest. Just, like, it's a mood thing. It's not really, like, a mental thing where I just don't want to. It's just, like, tired. So I think today's a really good day to kind of really just go over, like, what the fuck is going on. So Bitcoin is at 31,340 or 400 almost, and it's deciding whether it wants to go to it's deciding whether it wants to go up more. Crazy thing that happened today was XRP finally had its verdict, and it's like moonshot. It like went up today 70% or something like that. So I mean, that's good for the overall crypto market in general. Like, everyone's super happy because it's declared not a security, which is good because that means that, essentially all the altcoins that fall under, that are generally just not security. So it's nice to kind of know. But my biggest thing is, like, I really hope that Bitcoin goes past 32, because that's my confirmation that everything's good now, and that everything's gonna start to go up. And the reason why that's so good is because, I've been doing a nest egg strat. I've learned from my mistakes that I'm just gonna DCA and just keep on putting money in and money in, into the projects I believe in, and just do it that way. I should have done it from the start that way. But I was stupid. I gambled at times. I basically was doing the day trading and shit. And at the end of the day, none of that shit really worked out. And this has. And so I'm just going to keep doing that. Another update. Sorry if the lighting just keeps on going off and on. I might just keep it like this. Sorry if it's dark. But I think that I learned a really... I don't know what to do. I think I learned a really good lesson. In like even the past couple months, everything's been a lot better. I think last month I was saying that I should have a lot of money coming in, and I didn't know if anything was really, like, straightforward. Thankfully, I don't know why it keeps on auto focusing. Sorry, but I finally, like, had some of my money come in. I still got a little bit more, but my rent is paid, my car payment is paid, my just a portion of my debt is paid, and I finally feel like everything's starting to go up. And then in a couple weeks or a week or from now, I'll have next month's rent paid, and I was able to pay a little bit towards my mom's cell phone bill. So it's like, progressively, with the strategy that I'm doing, I've gotten better and better at making sure that we have not only just work every week or every couple of weeks, but that we are always, making money now and not fucking, just being left behind. And now that it's been working, we've been, pulling through. So let me tell you about the shit I've been doing. Let me start first on the construction stuff. So it's part of what I was saying. We had 2 jobs go through. I got paid for half of that. I get paid for the other half, like some 2,500, 300, or 3,000, sometime the end of this month, or before. And right now I'm sitting on at least 1,500. Out of this is rent paid and everything. I'm sitting on 1,500. Bought a TV, bought a sound bar, for myself just so that I can relax on the days off, and like I don't need anything else. I'm good. Food's pretty much paid for right now, so I'm sitting good. I'm not giving up my hustle. So when I can't do anything next week, and I haven't really been able to do anything all last week. I've been driving around or doing like, miscellaneous activities. I feel like when you grind for like 2 months straight, literally for me, it takes maybe like a week and a half for me to really relax. And that might sound weird. You're like, really? A week and a half? Well, you gotta understand that I work. I mean, I might game sometimes, like play League or like whatever, but that's only for maybe like 4 or 5 hours. And the rest of the time, and I only get maybe about 5 or 6 hours of sleep. So 10 hours of my day is resting and just kind of enjoying my time to whatever degree. The other, 14 hours every single day, I'm working. Every day. And so it gets tiring. It's not just my life, it's my life, Frank's life, keeping up with my family across the United States and their problems, things like that. And it's taxing, but it works right now. So yeah. So I'm happy, but you can tell I'm exhausted, but I'm happy. It's not like I'm not panicking anymore, and it's kind of like maybe a calm or like a relief right now. So there's that. What else? So yeah, so everything's going good with what we're doing with construction. I don't think there's really too many problems there. We're just getting things sorted out and stuff like that. But I mean, other than that, I mean that's all we can do right now. Um, and really just like losing myself. So and then the cabinet maker that I've been working with, he finally paid me the last draw that I have for working on his website. So I went ahead and did all that stuff, and tomorrow, hopefully, I'll get some money from him, which is like $800, which is just bonus money on top of everything. And then after that, whenever he chooses to start on the next project for his website, that's like 4,100. So that's like almost 5K. Yeah, seriously, bro. So I think the biggest thing here is that I'm moving up and I'm slowly learning what I should have done in the first place and what not to do. So this now is the turning point. I don't know if I said it before, but I think I said either this month or last month was the turning point. But now it's seriously the turning point. I could see it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just making sure that we're above water every single day. And for me personally, though, it is the turning point. And then for Frank, it's the turning point too, because now he's like a month ahead on rent almost every single month, which means that's going to be one less worry that we have each month as long as we pay our dues. And so it's been hard and rough for like the last year and a half, 2 years, but honestly, it really, I don't know if you could tell my voice because I'm hella tired, but it really feels so good. And when the market starts to go up, it'll feel even better because, like I said, I've been investing, maybe putting like $200 every couple of weeks into my investment account. I'm not touching it. I'm kind of doing the same strategy that my friend Rowena has been doing, where she's just been I've been helping her manage her funds for that she's had in crypto for almost 2 years now. Like, when I talk about a trooper, she really had, like, she makes me want to like be better as far as like even my finances and stuff. So I'm kind of like learning in her shoes, even though I'm kind of like, I brought all this financial stuff to light to her and to my boy Mike. like it's crazy because I'm learning from these guys too, in ways. Even though I'm kind of like, I was like the mentor at some point. I was the big honcho of the operation at some point, and now I'm kind of like learning off of my students. And I think that's it. It kind of all comes back full circle in a way, because like I said, none of this would be possible. This journey that you're experiencing, that you're seeing, none of this would come to light. None of this would be possible if I didn't have that eagerness to learn, but also if there wasn't a lesson at the end of the day. And like I said, me losing out on a lot of these things have only taught me how to grow and be better. And I feel like that's the major goal for anyone watching this. You want to become a better version of yourself. You don't want to make the same mistakes. And because I have been, yes, I've been making some of the same mistakes, like trading and stuff like that. But after a certain point, you start to learn. Like when I had like a small gambling addiction, when I was on my rise, on my richness, I think I like gambled maybe like 20,000 away without any hesitation. And now I'm like, and I had to phase out my gambling after each loss. And it kind of told me, you know, with each loss that I was doing, I kind of had to tell myself, I was like, because at first it was like, oh, I'm gonna win big, I'm gonna win big, I'm gonna win big, and eventually you tell yourself, wait, something's not right here. I keep on losing and losing and losing. So like, I kept on putting less and less money in until I lost most of my money. I'm talking about 20K though. And and when you lose and you fall and you have to get back up over and over, you really, like, at some point, doesn't matter if it takes 8 times, 9 times, 10, whatever, at some point you realize that, or you should realize that, whatever you're doing that's basically failing or whatever, you have to do it a different way. And for me at the time, I wasn't doing it a different way, or learning to quit, because obviously it was a lose lose. And when I learned that, hey, odds just aren't in your favor, it's not an even game, gambling is just going to take all your money away. And then I kind of focused from there over to day trading. Day trading's kind of the same way. I mean, honestly, it kind of is. Day trading and options. Some people got it, and I don't got it. I will tell you right now, I am not a day trader. Don't let me day trade anything. Don't let me play with options. I'm not good with that. But you know what I have learned? You DCA, you do your research on a project, and you slowly put money into it, and that is the number one best way to do anything. And I've learned that. It's taken me 2 years to really learn all this stuff, but I've learned so much that a normal person, and I probably said this a couple times, a normal person, it would take 5 to 10 years for them to learn everything I've gone through in the last two. 100% it would have. When you go down from 2 mil, losing a project, learn to invest, go through day trading, go through gambling, go through all these side hustles, try to figure out what the fuck works. You learn. I've fallen down so many times and gotten back up so many times that now I'm the most resilient I've ever been. And it's all because of, my passion to learn and explore and get better. Because, like I said, when you hit that echelon of like $2 million or whatever, you want to climb back so fucking hard. And I really wish that, like, every person, like, after their teenage years or whatever, like 19 years old, they get $2 million, right? They have that, they could see it, they could feel it, but they can't touch it. And all of a sudden, it just goes away. I wish everyone in the world could experience that. Just the taste, just the experience, or like if there was like an injection that gave you a memory of feeling 2 mil but not having it. I swear to you, not everyone would try so hard to fucking get back to that memory, to that essence, to that whatever that feeling is of like not it's not FOMO, but it's like the feeling of being at your prime, you know? It's like almost like if you had a dream that you were a millionaire. And some people have this, like dreaming that you're a millionaire, or that you have a really hot wife, or that you have a really fancy car, and then waking up distraught about not being that. And it kind of lights like a fire, like an ignition inside of you to want to do that. Like you're like, I've seen myself. I've seen myself have that car, or have a hot wife, or have have these things that you don't actually have. And when you see yourself in that position, or with those objects or with those things, it changes you. There's something clicks. And like I said, I wish everyone could feel the way that I felt. I've been feeling like the last 2 years. But I feel like that's like a trigger for. I feel like that would be a trigger for most people. It would spark something inside of them. And so yeah. To close, I would say, to close on this, I do want to say that basically, I really am happy now. Why? Well, because now that I have a decent amount of funds, now what I'm doing is I'm not going to waste my money like I did before. What I did before is when I had a lot of money, I spent it on shit that wasn't going to make me money. And so what I'm doing now is I'm being very cautious and careful with how I spend my money. What I know I have to do is I'm finishing, this is getting into the 3D realm and what I've been doing on my personal time, my free time. I know that I want to go to Unreal Engine as far as like learning it and learn substance, so that way I can just become a better artist, animator, whatnot. It's time, okay? I've been pushing it off too long. The problem is that if I don't have an animator, then I need to figure out a way to be able to animate things and whatnot, and convert everything that I have from C4D over to Unreal and these other programs and stuff. I know that that's going to take that's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of money. I don't have that right now, and so I have to wait on that. Right. What I can do is I can finish a lot of the projects that I have now. One of those projects being Space Cat, just that's almost done rendering, which is good. Oh wow, he's doing something. Yep. And then I'm going to finish all my renders. Hopefully, not this week. Probably not even next week. Probably the weekend next week. I hope I can go ahead and just knock out a whole bunch of renders for all the characters that I have in my backlog, because it's really been pissing me off. And then after I finish all the characters, then I can go ahead and just switch to Unreal. The other problem is I also need to finish up the Voyagers project, but the only problem there is that that might take some money that I don't have still, and I have to still figure out what I can actually complete by myself. So we'll see on that. We'll see if I need to buy graphics cards and stuff like that. I just have to plan around it. That's what I've been doing on that end. What can make me money though, and what I think I'm going to do to try to get kickstarted, is I'm doing two things. I've already made a YouTube channel, and I'm like I said before, I found a lot of success. I just passed 500 subscribers yesterday for the first time on this channel. That's a milestone. I've not been able to do that on any side channel or anything I've done. Only my main channel, which is like 2,000 subs. And so what I plan to do is build out that channel hopefully get monetized in the next couple months, and be able to make a small income, maybe a couple $100s off of that every single month. If I can make a couple $1,000s off of it each month, then if it can pay for my rent, I mean, I'm set. So I've just been consistent on that. 3 videos a day, and just popping. Just keep doing it. So just consistency, that's all that works. And I'm working with the team that made the app, and just kind of giving them ideas, bouncing ideas, having a couple meetings, every couple weeks or so. But it's been good. The other thing I'm really excited about is I'm doing Hanako again. What is Hanako? That is it's a story that I started with a friend of mine named Sam. Yes, Sam, I am mentioning you for the first time here because eventually, once everything gets good, and I want it to be part of this documentary, once everything's good, I'm going to surprise Sam. I know he's still in Colorado. I'm going to surprise Sam, hit him up and say, hey, what's your address? Or you got to see this. And I'm going to send him a copy of the new Hanako chapter once it's done. Whoa, you're making a manga again? Well, the thing is, in 2018 or 2019, I actually made a manga. It's called The Paragon Project. It was Hanako, but I felt like Hanako was too mainstream of a name, too close to like Naruto. But I kind of like it right now, so I'm going to phase back to it, or roll back to it. But the problem with my pilot manga was it had a good style. I'm not going to rip on the style. It was good. But it was too short. I felt like it was way too short for a first chapter, or for a chapter in general. I feel like for more of what I'm going for, they need to be 30-page chapters to really show growth. And I think the cool thing here is that I found an artist maybe a week ago, and they are so good as far as their style goes. And they work with me on payments and stuff like that, which is always good for an artist. And they really have that connection with me and the story. And so I think it really motivates me to kind of want to write more and pursue my story more. So what I'm gonna do this weekend is, we've already done like drawing tests of like some of the characters and stuff like that. I've given info, and I gotta do more, but what I gotta do is I gotta reread Hanako, like the first 52 pages of draft, and try to figure out where I left off. This has been a thing for the last 10 years. 5 years ago, I made the pilot for the manga, and that did okay. But this time we're gonna do it for real. Like, actually for real. Flesh out all the characters, flesh out the world building aspects, try to get a better idea on that, and then go full force into the manga and try to knock out 30 pages. Have some criteria for some of the side art, some panels, some conversational stuff, and go ahead and print those out and send them over to publishing companies and see if we can't get published. My goal is, if we can get published or serialized, I maybe make like 3 chapters, so that's 90 pages of art and story. If we can do that, and we can get published / serialized, and let's say that we're paid at minimum, I would love to be paid at least $5,000 per chapter, because that would mean that if we're being paid $5,000 per chapter, I can give the artist, so much. I can give the artist like a lot of that, 4,000 of 5,000. I mean, I really don't care. At that point, it would pay for my rent, like the 1,000, and I would have an artist that would be so happy to just continue this, and I would be so happy just to be able to not have to work ever again, and basically just write, and they do the drawing and stuff, and I think that would be super cool. Maybe even have them come to the United States, and be housed and stuff, so that way they can draw and be happy. It just, whatever works out. But I just think that if I work on Hanako, that's going to be the play for actual success. I can build a fan base off of that, go from Hanako and actually pursue everything else that I want to do. Because honestly, if I had to think about it, if I had to give up one thing, like let's say I pursue Hanako and it becomes a total success, well, that would mean that I can't really pursue being a 3D artist. It just doesn't work. But I would have enough money coming in, let's say from sales outside of the manga or whatever, that I could go ahead and start to build another team to do, 3D work or something for me. And I wouldn't have to do anything. I would just have to write, direct, and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I think I'm starting to move into a path where I am literally going to be more of a director than a artist animator, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. My goal is just to have movies, films, all this stuff on screen. That's my end goal, and be rich, and live a good life, but have generation wealth for my family and for my generations. And so if I can do that with all the projects that I'm doing right now, I've succeeded. I've done everything I needed to do. So this is the turning point, guys. This is it. It is finally, we're out of the fucking Grand Canyon. We are climbing all the way up, and I can see the light right now. I can see the sky actually. So deuces. I'll talk to you guys another time, maybe 2 weeks from now. Have a good one.
You're looking at me. You're looking at me. I'm looking at him. You're looking at me. I'm looking at him. You're looking at me. Frank's trying to scare a skunk.
So if you thought the video was good, please give it a like and share. It really helps. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see the rest of the story unfold. This project is so close to my heart, and your support keeps it going. Thanks so much. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time in the archives of a Shiba Millionaire.